We're about to take a trip around London, being driven around by a man called George Eyles. He was the director of tests for the UK Institute of Advanced Motoring, and he's going to share his wisdom. First of all, we're going to navigate around Marble Arch, and just to watch out in this first bit of film at the sheer variety of cars that were on the roads at that time. I think every car these days is very, very samey. Not every car, but most cars are quite samey. But the variety in 1963, the date of this movie, was stunning. Anyway, off we go around Marble Arch.
The first part of our journey is the Out of London Grand Prix. Now we can expect very heavy traffic, but driving is a state of mind. And if you can't bear to travel under these conditions, it's safer to go by bus. Coming up to Marble Arch, and I'm going round the arch into the park. You have to keep an eye on traffic on all four sides of the car. Broken down van in the middle of the road, driver in front going to the right. I've got traffic on my right, so I'm keeping in this lane. You can't hurry under these circumstances.
Marvellous old sign here, and I'm particularly grateful that we started at Marble Arch, as being a student of BSM in Paddington during the 80s, it's where I learned to drive. And after navigating Marble Arch traffic as a learner, very little phases me. But Marble Arch back there had no lane markings in 1963, even more scary. I've halted the movie here and Park Lane is ahead, and despite his explanation just now, I think he's in the wrong lane if he's going to turn right. Just a further note that George Eyles was from Gloucestershire, and he's talking in an accent which has largely disappeared now. He's a posh person from Gloucestershire, but he's pronouncing his R's, Marble Arch. We'll continue, and when we resume, he's driven unseen along Bayswater Road and entered Hyde Park along West Carriage Drive.
Into the park, the sun is shining quite brilliantly, and it's very pleasant. The traffic is very light. The speed limit is 30 miles an hour. And of course, there is a great temptation to exceed it here, but it's rather an expensive hobby. Out of the gates into Exhibition Road. We're going off right into the Cromwell Road, so check the mirror. Signal with the trafficator. And here in the Cromwell Road, keep into the left here, because there's a lot of traffic going into the airport terminal, watching that chap on the right who appears to have changed his mind.
This little movie was sponsored by Castrol oils, and before I left X in a fit of pique, somebody posted this movie there. And the X user maybe got this from YouTube user maxustaxus, cut it and reformatted it. Dunno. And it's lost its music accompaniment too. Anyhow, maxustaxus features a longer journey between London and Bath, and I've linked to this video in the description. Eagle-eyed viewers will notice as we cross the then new Hammersmith Flyover that this season has miraculously changed from summer to winter.
Now the Hammersmith Flyover, which has done a tremendous amount to relieve the traffic congestion, overtake this lorry. There's a 40 limit coming up, pulling back into the near side and building my speed up to 40. I see a Mini in my mirror who appears to be in rather a hurry, so I should keep in, although I'm doing my full 40, and let him overtake. After all, he pays the fine. I shan't overtake this lorry down here because the road joins. I should go back into the left and stay there, because I'm still doing my full 40. There's a stationary vehicle on the left, so remaining out in this lane.
There's a Green Line RT on the opposite carriageway, looking very smart without any advertising. And as we come up to Fuller's Brewery, there's the George and Devonshire.
Keeping my distance from that lorry all the time. Now, driving should be systematic. Do everything in an orderly sequence of events.
We're approaching the Hogarth Roundabout in Chiswick, and considering George was Director of Tests at the UK Institute of Advanced Motorists, he's way too close to this cyclist. A very unusual single-lane flyover was opened here in 1971, and it's still here. Next, there's a mysterious gap between the Hogarth Roundabout and Hounslow. Had he taken a right at Hogarth, there's no reason to be rejoining the Great West Road. He'd already be on it. Anyhow, it's summer again, and the trip resumes on Lambton Road.
Now we're coming up to the Great West Road again. The traffic lights are in our favour. We're going to the left, so we'll keep behind this learner. I'm in the correct gear. Check the mirror again. And let the learner settle down before we pull out to overtake.
We're now on the Bath Road at Harlington Corner, and just to note that the Mark II Jag has no wing mirrors. The driver would be constantly looking over their shoulder.
Getting towards London Airport now. The lights are in my favour, so I'm going straight through and then returning to my own near side again to let this police car come past, who appears to be in a bit of a hurry. I think he must be going to an emergency. We'll check the mirror again before we pull out to overtake this lorry. The speed limit's 40 through here. Watch those pedestrians very carefully. This is a very busy road. And remaining in this lane to overtake here, we mustn't weave in and out.
The former Heathrow North Terminal is on the left here.
And then when we've overtaken the van, we can start to pull back gently towards our near side. The lights ahead are red. Now they're changing again in my favour. Oh, there's the police car. Stop now. Which seems to prove that first away on the green often means first to stop at the next red. But even police cars have to obey the traffic lights. There he goes. And we're going straight through.
The Three Magpies pub here was still going strong into the 2020s.
The road's up here, so we must keep a careful lookout for workmen and of course drive on the smoothest part of the road. That is where the new motorway joins London Airport.
And it's the future Concord Roundabout. We've moved forward along the A4 a lot, and we're now at Branshill Junction at Colnbrook.
Coming up to a roundabout, so brake, into third gear. Watch the traffic carefully from the left. And I shall be content to remain behind this traffic here. I shan't attempt to overtake. Driving demands tolerance. Now we're approaching the new motorway.
The Langley Roundabout is now junction 5 of the M4, but in 1963 it marked the eastern end of the M4.
Now, motorways were built to facilitate the flow of traffic. I've got a lot of speed here and I intend to use some of it. Signal now that I'm going to leave the roundabout and join the motorway. Now I can start to build up my speed. Speed is not dangerous. It's speed in the wrong place.
And for some reason, it's winter again, according to the trees. This really is a mysterious bit of film.
Now, I've got a rapier up ahead. I'm keeping a lot of distance between us because we're travelling at about 55. I shall let him pass that lorry before I attempt to close up to overtake him. Just keep on my lane, check the mirror, nothing behind me that wants to overtake. And now I shall start to close up, and first of all signal him with my headlights. And again. He hasn't a clue that I'm here, so I shall sound the horn. And again. Yes, he's pulling in, and I can go past. Giving me the V sign. I can't think why he should think that I'm interested in his politics.
His tailgating, flashing lights and beeping is a bit rude, and the two-fingered salute from the Sunbeam Rapier driver was maybe to be expected. Culturally, the V sign seems to be disappearing in the 21st century, replaced by the one-fingered method.
I'm staying out on this lane, checking the mirror, nothing close behind me. I see a van coming in onto this road ahead, so I shall ease off on the throttle a bit just in case. No, he knows his drill, so we can get a move on again.
And as George continues towards Bath, we leave this journey.